again. I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
Get busy living. You get busy dying.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. And here we go.
All right, we're back with another episode of the Cinema Cult Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Maloof. With me, as always, my co-host, Dante Troina. How you doing today, Dante? What's going on?
Doing good. Lots of good movie news coming our way via film Twitter and other announcements going on. And then watched a pretty damn good show last night.
Yeah.
If we want to just start with that, I think the studio was absolutely awesome. The first two episodes, that show just moved, man. I had a great time watching it.
Yeah, the studio, I saw it a couple days ago. Checked it out. I've been seeing the promo for it, and I was pretty interested. So, yeah, I want to talk about the studio. I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Avengers casting announcement. We'll do a little bit on the new PTA trailer, one battle after another, and then I think anything else we want to throw in there too. But yeah, to start off with the studio, pretty cool. Like, I think this is just going to be a fun show to watch week to week. This is on Apple TV Plus. It's starring Seth Rogen, created by Seth Rogen, his partner Evan Goldberg, and a couple other people as well. Written by, created by, directed by. The first two episodes were directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, which I thought was notable. But it's a really fun show. It kind of hinges on Seth Rogen's character, who's a studio executive at a Hollywood movie studio, and it's just satirizing the inner workings of Hollywood. Seth Rogen's character, he wants to make art house movies, right? He wants to make the next Rosemary's Baby or the next Annie Hall or the next movie like that, not directed by a pervert. Like, that was a great line. I thought it's just a really funny show. It's really clever. And I'm really having a good time with it so far.
It's just so much fun. It was made for us, right? It's made for people who do care about these things and who will get the references and point our fingers at the screen when we see an actor that we like. I mean, just opening with Paul Dano, having Greta Lee in it as well, just having a bunch of actors that we really like in it. The line with Greta Lee about past lives and slumming it with A24
Yeah.
because she needs the private jet for her next movie was just fucking awesome, man. Like, this is so fun, having some actors play themselves in it and then having people like Bryan Cranston as Griffin Mill. Just, you can tell he's having an absolutely great time just through the screen. And Catherine Hahn too, as Maya, as the other studio exec. Just an awesome cast, awesome premise, and something that we were built for to watch.
Yeah, I think it's just a really fun kind of satirical look at the inner workings of Hollywood. You get all the kind of main players. You get Seth Rogen, who becomes the head of the studio. You have his boss, who is basically like the owner, or he's beholden to the board. You have all the people underneath him. You have the other studio executives. You have kind of the sleazy cokehead drug addict one, and then you have the marketing team. You have Seth Rogen's assistant, who's also trying to come up in the world of Hollywood movie making, and it's a lot of fun. It definitely like some Entourage vibes, where you have all the different cameos, from like people playing themselves. We have Martin Scorsese here. We have Greta Lee.
Well, and they called him a suit.
Sorry,
they called him a suit that was ripped right from Entourage.
Right, exactly.
I think Entourage kind of started that with calling him a suit, and I was immediately, oh, it's like Entourage, and the just little references and how it pokes. It knows the audience wants the references, and it uses them at the right spot. Like suggesting Wes Anderson or Guillermo del Toro to recommend
to direct the Kool-Aid movie.
the Kool-Aid movie. Like, that's just fucking hysterical, and that's what I think. Like, you brought up, like, Entourage did that so well, and just like everybody knows about this actor or this and that, just like little throwaway lines that just work really well for us who do that. Does just hit our sweet spot as movie lovers.
Yeah, and I think this movie also, or this show also, owes a ton to the Robert Altman movie, The Player, 1992. I mean, it's obviously referencing it on like many, many different levels. I don't think you've seen that yet, but I would definitely check that out if you like this movie or this show. The movie The Player, it's starring Tim Robbins, like with there's a bunch of people in it. It's the very same vibes as this, and the show is like directly referencing it with the Griffin Mill character, Bryan Cranston, playing. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same character because they're very different from each other, but it's maybe in name only. It's a reference, and also the way the show is shot. I mean, the show looks fucking amazing. Lots of long takes. The second episode is all one take. It's not there's obviously some cheating being done, and I think it's kind of funny that they reference that in the episode where Seth
The
Rogen's
little whip pans and
right, where the
yeah.
whip pans, and when we move through a doorway or something, the frame gets obscured, and that's where they can find places to cut. And they're doing that in the first episode too. Like we get a long take that kind of opens the episode before we eventually do cut. We get a few cuts in the first episode. It's not like designed to be one take, but it's still a sequence of very long takes, which I think looks really cool. The show is it just like hits kind of on all levels for me right now. It looks amazing. It's well acted. It's well written. It's clever. It's about something that I think is really interesting, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
It's made with serious love and care, but it's not taking itself seriously at all.
No,
Right? It's taking the shots very seriously where it wants to be a good looking show and it wants to be well edited and all these things that we look for in anything that we're watching, but it's also very much having a really good time with the premise, with the Kool-Aid Man doing the Zay Zay, with the joke of it being Martin Scorsese's last movie. Just very slowly revealing information to us with Scorsese's script and how he loves the title Kool-Aid and he didn't realize that Jonestown,
yeah,
he's more ideas are spanning off of this, then they have to kill the movie, and then Buscemi walks in and says, "Yeah, it's Marty's last movie." That just fucking cracked me up, man. That was just such a cool slow reveal of information there, and how they could have marketed the Kool-Aid movie with Scorsese. Just great, just
yeah.
great.
I kind of thought that's what was gonna happen. I was like, oh, he found a way to get Martin Scorsese to make the Kool-Aid movie, and he's actually gonna try to do it. But that's not how this version of the show works. That's not how Hollywood works here, I guess. In this version of Hollywood, anyways, where yeah, Bryan Cranston, Griffin Mill, he wants Seth Rogen, who's been recently promoted to studio head, to make the Kool-Aid movie, and it's kind of like a riff on Barbie and kind of trying to use all this like random IP to make movies, and like the complete lack of creativity we have and like 99% of studio filmmaking these days. But it's really funny. It's obviously like heightened, I guess, but it's not that far off from reality. Like we've heard heard reports about Mattel trying to make movie out of like fucking Polly Pocket. I think everything has been considered since Barbie.
Yeah.
Like Jenga, right? Like there's a lot of kids' toys and random shit that they're actually trying to turn into movies now. So I don't think we're that far off from a fucking Kool-Aid movie.
And you see immediately in the show, like it's definitely, as we said, parody and satire a little bit, but you see where even producers with good intentions can just fuck up and just have these great intentions and it leads them towards a bad product because they're trying, like Matt, Seth Rogen's character in the show, is trying to fit both worlds and be this prestigious film and give the quotes that he wants to make millions of dollars with movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that had the holy trinity of Brad, Leo, and Margot Robbie. But he's also trying to appease his studio head or whoever's above him that's just completely out of touch. Griffin Mill is just he's trying to replicate the doll that made $1 billion, and with the Kool-Aid Man, as absurd as it is, and it's just fun. It's just funny. It's a good time, and it weirdly does, peel back layers to the real world while being a satire and being a play on it. It very much shows us how these intentions get messed up, even with you trying to be a good boss.
Yeah, I did want to say there was that one part where when Catherine Hahn says, "You know what, Super Mario Brothers, it made I can't forget exactly what she says, but she's like, no one gives a fuck about Super Mario Brothers, but you know what it made was, $1.2 billion." And then, but Seth Rogen, they were arguing about Barbie versus Super Mario's, and Seth Rogen totally could have came back in and said, well, Barbie made $1.4 billion and it won all these Oscars and everything, but they didn't do that. So I was a little disappointed by that. I thought that was kind of like a logic flaw, I guess, because they were talking about like prestigious movies versus movies that make a ton of money. They're like, Super Mario Brothers didn't, wasn't fucking Oscar nominated, but it made $1 billion. Well, Barbie did both, but Barbie's the rare case where it's the exact movie Seth Rogen wants to make, like where it's this like IP driven blockbuster, this movie that everyone's gonna want to see, and then it's also winning all these awards and like being like a true like high art film at the same time in a way. I don't know if I'd quite call Barbie high art, but it's striving for something like that.
It's made by Greta Gerwig and stars actors that take themselves seriously, right? In most of their roles, in Ryan Gosling and in Margot Robbie, like they're a very high class of actor. I think both A-listers in today's Hollywood. I think it's funny because it shows you how you just can't replicate Barbie, man. You
Right.
can't
It's
replicate
so
that film's
true.
success. And I'm sure this is what tons of studios are trying to do right now is replicate Barbie or replicate Dune somehow or just any movie that's been successful in the last couple of years. And that leads to the missteps that we have in today's box office driven film world.
Yeah.
And even especially after, it felt like 2019, 2018, everything was making $1 billion. And I think in a post-COVID world, like the box office and the rechurning of movie theaters has driven companies to be even more hungry for that next hit.
Hmm.
And this shows where that hunger gets you.
I just think the show's so smart. Like, I think the writing is very clever, and the way it satirizes Hollywood is really funny. Yeah, I thought the second episode was a lot of fun too, where
Yeah.
it's the Oneer, right? The title of the episode is the Oneer, and it's the whole premise of the episode is Seth Rogen, studio head, wants to visit the set of one of the movies that his studio is funding, directed by Sarah Polley, Oscar winner, for Women Talking. Fun to see her. I kind of forgot she was an actor. I forgot she was the star of Zack Snyder's Evil or Dawn of the Dead movie. So it was kind of fun to see her back as an actor. We even get like a reference to that where she's like kind of kissing Seth Rogen's ass and he like thinks she's being genuine. And then what
Right.
his other producer said she's, don't forget she's still a good actor. But the whole episode is designed to look like one take. It's not a true oneer. I think there are a few stitches in there in certain areas, and the writing even acknowledges that when he's talking to Sarah Polley and saying, "Well, why can't we just, because he's like keeps messing up the shot basically. He keeps fucking it up, like just him being there. It just
In
gets
hilarious
worse and worse.
ways.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
great ways.
Yeah.
And then makes a comment to Sarah Polley saying, "Well, can't we just, do a whip pan or something?
Even
Hide the
1917 had
right."
cuts. Or
It's so
Children of
funny.
Men and all.
It's so funny how much of a nerd he is. It's
Yeah.
like it's endearing, but it's also like kind of annoying. Like you can tell these filmmakers like, yeah, we fucking get it. You've seen some movies, studio head. Like shut the
We
fuck
have
up.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, just let me do my job. Yeah, and you get a lot of that in the player too, and you get like a lot of some of the same references. Like the opening shot of the player is this super long oneer, like flying all through like the studio backlot, following all these different people on the lot, and then we eventually center on our main character Griffin Mill, and you hear a lot of dialogue in the background of like referencing famous oneers from movies and saying like why like Seth Rogen I think takes some lines directly from the player even or something very close where he's like the oneer, it's the ultimate like expression of cinema or whatever he says, where it's like that's the ultimate cinematic flourish, the best thing because it's all one take, and he talks about touch of evil and stuff that's like is directly referenced in the player too. So the connections are very deep, and I think it's really fun if you like that movie to like watch this show and then just see where all the connections are. They're obviously very inspired by it, which I think is pretty cool.
It's really fun to see too, and I think it goes back to a line. I forget who first said it, but it was some small time director. And like, why do you keep making independent films? And he says, well, because Hollywood always wants to put their dick in it, right? Seth Rogen wants to say that and he says it to his friend, whenever we watch
Yeah.
the movie, we'll know that we suggested the blunt to be there.
Right.
And they're so
Right.
proud of that. And
And
so
that is
proud
real.
that,
That shit
that
happens
they
all the
had
time
an idea
in Hollywood.
Exactly. It happens all the time where people, regardless of the idea, it's their idea and it's a great idea because it's their idea. And when I'm watching the movie, I'm going to know it's my idea.
Uh-huh.
And so just they want to show I don't think he's power tripping in that moment, but definitely people do want to show the power that they have as producers. Whereas I think he's doing it because he feels like, oh, they want my suggestions.
He's
they
like
just
so
told me.
earnest and such a movie nerd that
Yeah.
and they're pretending to want him there because he's a studio head and everyone wants something from him. Like someone says to him, the only reason anyone's talking to you on this is because they want something from you. Whether it's Sarah Polley, who's kissing his ass because she wants the Rolling Stones song to be used over the scene they're filming. Greta Lee wants the private jet for the press tour. Like everyone that's like talking to him on set wants something from him, even if it's like a PA trying to, move up in the ranks. Like that's the only reason people are talking to you, and he's too kind of naive to know that. He also just became the studio head, like, in the first episode, so I guess you can't really blame him. I wonder if he'll kind of become a little more savvy as we go along here.
Yeah, I do wonder the direction with his character because right now he is just putting himself in bad situations and fucking up the Kool-Aid movie and just burning through cash to get the director back on board with the Kool-Aid movie.
He bought Martin Scorsese's script for $10 million just to kill it.
Oh, dude, how bad do you want to see that Scorsese Jonestown movie now?
I know. I was like, fuck, I wish
it.
that was a real movie.
I want it
Because
so
there is
bad.
a Jonestown movie in production actually, and I knew that before, so I was thinking, are they referencing that? But it's actually starring DiCaprio as Jim Jones, but it's not a
Yeah.
Scorsese movie. It's I looked back into it after
it
the
should be.
episode, but yeah, I know it's kind of crazy, but that's not a Scorsese film. That's coming from someone else. But anyways, yeah, it was fun to see him in the episode though. He's a good actor, Scorsese.
Yeah, I wonder after the season maybe we could do like a if they keep throwing out projects in this movie, like which ones we want to see in real life.
Yeah,
Because Greta Lee was supposed to be flying out to a secret Nolan film too,
right,
in
right.
Europe or something. Like we've only got her today because she's flying out for some secret Nolan film. And I like how they all kind of
Mhm.
like they're not definitely not taking a jab at Nolan, but they're rolling his eyes at that it's a secret.
How
Nolan,
how secretive he
Nolan
is
film.
about his
Yeah.
projects. Yeah, man, that'd be fun to
Just
see him on
great.
this show, but I don't think we'll ever get that. But I think that's where the fun.
We got Marty in the first episode.
You're right. You're right. We had Scorsese
That's
in the
awesome.
first episode, but I feel like Scorsese is a little more game for things like that. He's also acted before, and small
Yeah.
cameo roles and things, and I feel like Scorsese is more up for like doing things like that than Nolan. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that from him, but that would be awesome to see him kind of play with his persona a little bit
Yeah.
on a TV show like this. But I think that's a lot of where the fun will be in this show is with
Right.
all the different cameos from different people in the industry and kind of guess who else is going to show up next and what way they're going to use them. I think that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's weirdly like This Is the End almost, where Michael
way.
Cera's coked out in the bathroom, or
Uh-huh.
Jonah Hill's just super nice and earnest the whole time. I think that'll be fun to see a lot of the celebrities play on their own public image. Like again, the Greta Lee line about A24 and A24 past lives.
Yeah.
I just need the private jet. Like
Uh-huh.
she's
It's
sick
like,
of
I
being
didn't-
this.
She's like, I don't have $10 or whatever, I can't
Right.
make any money from that.
It's been hard.
Yeah.
And so that's just cool. Like I like seeing them on their personas. I like Paul Dano at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
just playing his character. And what if I give this kind of emotion and just
Yeah.
being totally in tune on set? Like Dano's another one I think on the list of our guys. Like we
100%.
love Dano. He's good in everything he does. And then Ray Liotta, rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah.
That was rest in peace. He's hung like a horse, I guess, and good for him. And I love how everyone talking about him says "rest in peace," and when they talk about Ray Liotta, and it's just great. I just
Yeah.
had such a good time. This show moves. It's all subject matter that we already like, but then like halfway through the first episode, I didn't realize I was halfway through the first episode. I thought I was 10 minutes in, because it's just moving at a really good pace.
Yeah, I think if you're into movies, you're obsessed with movies, and you know a lot about the industry, like you absolutely need to watch this. I think there's no way that anyone that loves movies won't love this show. I think anyways. Maybe someone could find a way to not like it, I guess, but I think even if you don't know a lot about movies, this is still could be a really entertaining show and a way maybe to learn a little bit more about like what it like a version of what it is like in Hollywood. Obviously, this is like a heightened, satirized version of Hollywood, but like we said, I don't think it's that far off in some areas, and I think that's really what makes it funny. Like, there is a Griffin Mill. There are many Griffin Mills in Hollywood that are like, what do we make at the
Plenty.
studio? Like, we make movies that people want to see. We don't make,
don't make
art house
films.
bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they say that their studio is a pillar of cinema and all this shit. It's like,
Right.
but it's
Right.
just about making money. I don't know if you've ever read the book. I actually have it right here, Adventures in the Screen Trade by William Goldman. It's like William Goldman, famous screenwriter. He wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and a lot of other really famous movies. But he writes the book is about screenwriting in Hollywood, but it also devotes a lot of time to all the different aspects in Hollywood and kind of how they operate, like stars and studio executives. And a couple of the key things, like the main thing he says in the book is like, nobody knows anything in Hollywood. Like nobody knows anything, like, in the sense that no one knows what's going to be a hit. right?
Yeah.
Like no, everyone can
Yeah.
say that, oh, of course this is going to be big and that will never work and whatever, but until something actually does hit and make a billion dollars or a ton of money, no one really fucking knows. And all a studio executive is trying to do is keep their job. And they'll do it by any means necessary, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what we're seeing play out in the show here. So I think it's just, there's a lot of really like richness in this story that I think is really fun if you want to dig deeper into it.
Yeah, who's to say the Kool-Aid movie doesn't become a meme and just recoup all of its money and then some,
Right,
right?
exactly. Like he's doing
And
the Zay Zay. Like they're
and,
trying to just make us some viral bullshit that a bunch of people will go see, like the Super Mario
well,
Brothers movie,
or like the Minions movie,
like
right? The
Minions.
Minions movie was like
Yes.
that, the people dressing up and going in.
Yeah, yeah.
But also who's to say it's not like the next big flop either, And
Exactly.
you're exactly right, and I think that book is exactly right too. Like nobody knows, Dune could have flopped, Blade Runner 2049 flopped,
Exactly.
but Blade Runner 2049 is a beloved movie that's going to be watched for years and years to come and studied in film classes for years and years to come and
But a
appreciated,
studio
but
exec
it
looks at that
flopped.
movie and just sees the flop, right? A
It's a
studio
failure,
exec just
yeah.
sees it as a fucking failure
The movie is a
when,
failure.
yeah, but
Yeah.
everyone else around it. And I think, I don't know. I hope that not every, that Hollywood in real life isn't really this cynical. Like there are studio execs out there that care about quality and care about making like movies that people are going to really appreciate. They're going to stand the test of time. So I don't
Yeah,
think it's all
A24.
right. There's studios like A24, like Neon, and I mean to a certain extent the big studios like Warner Brothers
Yeah.
and Marvel. I mean they want to make like movies that are going to stand the test of time, but like making money is like obviously the most important thing for them. So sometimes that takes precedent, and that's like what hurts a lot of these like just bullshit studio films we see nowadays. But
Yeah,
yeah,
why do you think there was a second Aquaman? It wasn't because of the critical reception.
yeah, because the
It was
first one
because
made $1 billion.
it was because it made $1 billion. Like it wasn't because they thought Aquaman was going to stand the test of time, for God's sakes. And yeah, you hear quotes from like Zaslav come out about like
Oh
we
God,
need to we need to right,
yeah,
but we need to use our franchises more, and we need to make. He's basically just saying we need to make more money. He's not going
yeah,
to say it like that, but that's exactly what he's saying in his interviews. And so you see it at the highest level in Hollywood where this dude controls HBO Max, Warner Brothers, all these wonderful IPs and talents and companies, and it's about money at the end of the day. So I really like the show. I'm really excited to see where it goes because I'm bought in. It doesn't take much for me to buy into the show. I really like it. It's in tune with itself. It's a really fun watch.
yeah. I didn't quite know what I was expecting out of this show. I'd seen the promo for it. I knew it was about a studio executive and it was about Hollywood, but I wasn't really ready for like the entourage meets the player vibe that we got from this. And I was like just totally locked in. As soon as like a minute in, I was like, oh shit, like this is gonna be good. Just the way this feels is really, really cool. And also it helps that it's right up our alley in many different ways. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a fucking awesome show to watch week to week.
Yeah, Apple TV, just killing it the last couple
Severance, I
years.
just finished Severance season
Severance,
two. Severance
Killers
was
of the
great.
Flower Moon,
Hmm.
The Studio. I know Slow Horses won a lot of stuff.
They've been making a lot of good stuff.
Defending Jacob, I thought was really good till the last episode, but just there's been a lot of really good shows filtered through Apple TV Plus, so good for them, and still one of the cheapest streaming services.
I guess so.
Sugar with Colin Farrell as well,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. So some really good stuff filtering through Apple TV right now. Good for them. We want to move on to the next studio.
Yeah, so I guess we should probably talk about the Avengers cast announcement. Crazy to go from a show like The Studio to talking about a fucking Avengers casting announcement where it was a 5 hour live stream of the backs of chairs. A truly excruciating watch for anyone insane enough to watch the whole thing. I tried watching it on 2x and I couldn't even fucking get through that because even in 2x, you're still
Two and
focused
a
on the
half
back of
hours.
one chair for like fucking, I don't even know how long, like 5 minutes. It's like truly insane shit from Marvel. I don't know who was smoking what that let this out, but yeah.
Yeah, speak about like just self-indulgence. And I mean, it worked. The marketing ploy definitely worked. That's all the
People are
internet was
talking about
talking
it.
about yesterday. And I love the memes of just Like Ash from Evil Dead is coming back
Yeah,
in
everyone. Yeah.
Doomsday, and
Ray Fiennes
yeah,
from
Ray
Conclave.
Fiennes, right?
Honora.
Like Koba from Planet of the Apes is coming back, and uh, it's just okay. Like it's out in a year. Fuck.
In production. It started production, I guess, so now they're shooting the movie right now.
So they got 11 months to CGI this thing up.
They have
And get,
all of these.
not even.
Yeah, not even. They have all these 50 actors. They have them all in their closets in their houses with green wallpaper, and they're just all punching the air, and they're just gonna put it together at the end. So I guess we'll see what fucking happens. But
The shot of Ian McKellen on the set of The Hobbit when they were using more CGI.
yeah, that was great.
Him just with the green background.
He's
with
like
his
so
head down.
depressed. Yeah, well,
Poor
he's in this
guy.
movie. Ian McKellen is in this movie.
Yeah, I guess that's my big takeaway. Is that the X-Men are in this movie? Like,
A lot of the old X-Men. So we get. I'm just gonna burn through everyone that was announced like real quick here.
quickly, Cody. It's 2014, and I'm seeing the X-Men get their final movie. It's 2016, and I'm seeing the X-Men get their final send-off. It's 2017, and last year, 2024, we're seeing the X-Men get their final send-off, and I guess in 2026, they'll have their final send-off again.
Whatever
Good
happens
for the
in this,
X-Men.
I'm thinking that some of these guys are going to die in this movie. Some people have to die in this movie. There's no way you can have all of these characters plus all the characters that are on this
Can't
list.
go 50 for 50.
No, there's no fucking way. So these characters a lot of them are gonna die, I think. Or I just wonder what it's gonna be. Is it gonna be like a multiverse of madness like style thing where everyone just like shows up and says, "Now is my turn" for the cameo, and then "Now is my turn," and then that's it? Or like what are these characters gonna have arcs? Are we gonna care about them?
Now cheer.
Yeah, or is it gonna be like what we've been getting lately with just the people coming out of portals like a Spider-Man No Way Home or a Deadpool and Wolverine where you're just supposed to enjoy the fact that you are seeing this character. Like, I hope that Marvel just hasn't hedged all their bets on this, because I think it's really easy to take the wrong lesson away from something like Deadpool and Wolverine, where, yes, people really love that movie. It made a ton of money, and we both had fun with it. But it is kind of cheap, especially on a rewatch, when it's just, hey, remember this person? Remember Elektra from that terrible fucking Elektra movie? Like, remember Channing Tatum as Gambit? Well, you never actually saw him, but if you're a weird comic book movie nerd and you know that he was gonna be Gambit, so like that's not enough. That's kind of fun, but it's not enough. It's
Fun
cheap
in
thrills.
one movie and in one bite size and in a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine that knew it was cheap.
And it's taking itself not seriously. Yeah, it knows that it's being cheap to a certain extent, I think. So
Yeah,
you can
Doomsday is
give it a
not going to
little bit
be
of a
that.
pass.
Doomsday is 100% going to take itself seriously, I think.
Yeah,
So
as seriously as a Marvel movie can take itself, anyways.
right.
Okay, I'm just gonna do the whole list real quick, rapid
right.
fire. Chris Hemsworth, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Letitia Wright, Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell, Tenoch Huerta Meja Namor, Simu Liu, Florence Pugh, Danny Ramirez, David Harbour, Winston Duke, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, the famous Ghost, the character we all know and love, and Tom Hiddleston as Loki. So those are all the returning MCU actors.
Mm-hmm.
From other franchises, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romijn as Mystique, James Marsden, and Channing Tatum. So we have all the Fox X-Men guys plus Channing Tatum, or some of them coming back anyways. I guess not everybody, but and then it has here new additions. But Robert Downey Jr. he's a new addition as Doctor Doom, but of course we know why he's not really a new addition. Yeah, I'm still not sure about the Doctor Doom thing, but we can talk about it. After him, we have the Fantastic Four. We're supposed to be excited for characters in this movie that we haven't even fucking seen yet. So it's Vanessa Kirby, Pedro Pascal, Evan Moss Baccarat, and Joseph Quinn, plus Kelsey Grammer as Beast, and Lewis Pullman, who is the villain Sentry, I believe, in the upcoming movie Thunderbolts.
So why watch Thunderbolts? Because Taskmaster's going to die because she's not in
I think we already know
Doomsday.
that Taskmaster.
Ghost is living, so I know no matter like imagine in
Why are we announcing
Thunderbolts.
Ghost as a cast member in Avengers Doomsday? No one fucking cares.
But imagine if they put like Ghost or like Wyatt Russell's U.S. agent in a situation of peril
Oh well, yeah,
in the movie,
obviously,
and
and they will be.
you're just like, okay, like, and I just, it's so anticlimactic for the movies that are coming out, and even Fantastic Four. Like, I know they're all going to survive the Fantastic Four movie, but it's just like, yeah, no shit, they should be in Doomsday. Like,
Yeah,
I just don't.
obviously.
This doesn't move me. I'm not
This
them
pissed me
bringing
off. This made me mad. Just the
no
way that they did
Spider-Man.
it.
No Spider-Man was my first thing. I'm not trying to complain about, like, it's just kind of weird to me to not have Spider-Man announced because he should be your pillar character, and
Right.
it's like they don't know what to do with Spider-Man. Um, no Hulk, which I don't love Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, but I just think he's been grossly mishandled
I
by
like
Marvel
I
Studios.
like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk when he's actually the Hulk,
He's
not
been one of the
smart
most
Hulk.
misplaced characters besides like Ragnarok.
He's great in
He's been one of the
Ragnarok.
most misplaced and just fucked over characters in this entire universe. And then the original X-Men coming back, like, cool. I'm not moved. Like, I'm fine with it, but I don't want to see Avengers versus X-Men because that book fucking sucks. And that's the consensus. Like, it is not a good book, and I don't care. And the Avengers are so I think they're showing us they don't have the faith in their Avengers either in doing all this extra move. Is that they really do not have the faith in what the Avengers are right now. And
Hmm.
I like Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I just think they're not showing a lot of faith in him either, or like trying to make faith
Well,
where they
it's
don't
kind of
have
like a
any.
hodgepodge of characters here. If you're going to try to do just like a team of remaining Avengers, it's not a lot of heavy hitters, especially if you're excluding Spider-Man and the Hulk, and Hawkeye's not in this either. Black Widow. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of people not on this list, and I mean, I don't really care about that because this is just a list of names. So it's just, we're supposed to get excited over a list of names that I just don't really think makes any sense to me. And
There's
whatever characters don't show up in this are going to be in fucking Secret Wars when there's going to be a billion characters. Everyone's going to be in that. Fucking Tom Cruise is going to be Iron Man in that movie or some shit, you know? Like, so who even knows?
that's what would have gotten me
That would be
excited.
pretty. If Tom
That
Cruise
would
is on
have
this
had
list, I would be singing a completely different tune right now.
this would be a very different podcast if Tom Cruise was on there.
Uh,
But oh well, like, it's the movie's in motion. I guess it comes out next year. I have my trust in Marvel is waning, so we'll see what Fantastic Four is, but my trust in them
yeah.
is waning, and I don't want it to. But I just think they just haven't adapted. And if anything, like, this wouldn't get me, I don't know, this would get me excited in 2018, 2019, I guess, but still I'm kind of just like, why would I be excited about names? Even then, I
Why?
don't
Yeah,
think I
just
would.
names. It's like you're supposed to just. Oh, thank you for showing me a fucking list of names. Like, just say
Like,
it's in production.
that's why you have at the end of the movie, like, Captain America will return, or Thor will return. Like, you have that at the end of the movie anyway, so we know they're returning. Like, I think their audience is really fucking dumb. And
I
I don't
agree.
like that. I don't like that. I think the Daredevil shows, like,
Some of them are kind of fucking dumb, though. To be
well,
fair,
yeah, they're eating this up.
I gotta
I think,
say.
like, the Daredevil show is at least trying to, like, treat us like we're smart audience members, but I think Marvel as a whole just
Uh,
does not respect their audience at all. I don't know who the fuck, like, this isn't for me as a comic book nerd. This isn't for you as an MCU. Like, we were shills, man. We loved this universe.
I still do.
I don't.
I still love it. I still
I'm
do.
I'm not out. I just don't have, like, I don't love where it's at right now.
I don't love where it's at,
I'm
but I
much more
will.
excited for DC's, like, James Gunn getting up there
Yeah.
and saying, like, hey, we like, how transparent he's been in his conferences. Hey, Mike Flanagan pitched us a Clayface movie. We weren't gonna make a Clayface movie, but we really liked his script, so we're gonna make it.
Hmm.
And Swamp Thing's in production, but it's taking a little bit longer than we thought. Okay, like,
Well,
that's so cool. That's
yeah.
so much respect for me as the audience too. Like, the Authority. He talked about, we're just want to find the right script right now. We will, but we just want to make sure that we do this correctly. Okay, cool. Like, and I feel like Marvel's so beholden to their timeline and when they want to release stuff, and the Disney. It's funny because I would think Disney would be more flexible than Zaslav and WB, but right now it seems like WB is more being more flexible and more transparent to us with what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I'm just more excited for that because I feel the actual respect for the audience behind it and the actual, hey, we're listening to what we hear for you, right? Like they're actually listening to what
We here
we
for you.
we here for you. But it seems like they actually are trying to give us what we want. Whereas I think Marvel's just like, hey, you like our stuff, right? We have more stuff. Don't you like it? And it's
Yeah.
like if you actually look at Marvel the last couple of years, I don't think there's as many hits as there are misses. Like I think there are more misses than hits. So them just promoting their brand again, which is already big enough, is just and their actors, which are already big enough, it's just kind of it's just so redundant.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All we can do is wait and see. Doomsday is set to release on May 1st, 2026. Um, we will be there. Opening
Yes,
night,
yes. Oh, yes.
100%. We will fucking be there.
Absolutely. I
You
still
got my
will be,
money.
yeah.
I'm sticking
Yeah.
around until at least the end of Secret Wars, and then I think after Secret Wars, I will evaluate.
Reassess.
I will
Yeah.
reevaluate, and I'll see. Okay, what have you given me since Endgame, and should I continue to care about this, or should I put down the action figures and go like read a fucking book or something?
Should I be an adult?
Not to say
Damn
I don't.
it.
I don't have action figures anymore. I mean that metaphorically. Like, should I grow up? You know what I mean? Like, grow out of this. I feel like you kind of have to at some point, but there we go.
That's a good action figure right there. That's a good one. From a movie that respects me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all I've got on Doomsday, I guess. There's not much else to say because it was again just a list of names and not much else.
It feels so directionless as a movie right now, and it's supposed to come out in a year. And I don't need them to leak details or tell us what it's about. I just need to see that they're in a coherent state. I don't think they know what they're making right now.
I need to see a trailer, and the internet is we're gonna lose our fucking minds when
Yeah.
we see a trailer, or a teaser or anything.
Either way, yeah,
can't
either
wait.
way, a real teaser, not 6
not
hours of
this.
stills.
That was depressing. Speaking of trailers, we did get a trailer today for a movie that we think is going to be pretty fucking good. And it's One Battle After Another, directed by the legendary Paul Thomas Anderson. We had a teaser for the trailer a week ago. I hate when they do that. The teaser for the teaser for the teaser. It's like, what the fuck are we even doing? But we got the full trailer today. It's like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes long.
Right.
We learned a little bit. Yeah, we learned a little bit about the story and what that plot is going to be. I did go read the Wikipedia summary of Vineland, the book, last week. I said I wasn't going to, but I did. So I kind of felt like at least I know what the plot of the book is. And this trailer seems like the movie's following the book, at least generally speaking. So yeah, seems pretty interesting. DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, not Guillermo del Toro. Help me.
What?
Not Guillermo del
Guillermo del Toro.
Benicio del Toro.
Oh Jesus! Oh, I was thinking of Guillermo, not the del Toro part.
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro, for me, one of my guys
Yeah,
as well.
I love him
actually,
too.
He's great in everything. I welcome him on screen. He's the one that, like, taken away from the trailer, I think I'm as excited as I was, but then just seeing Benicio in a new character, like I'm bought in. I love Benicio del Toro and everything he's in, so I'm ready for that. I don't feel any differently than I did a couple weeks ago about this movie when I knew it was being produced. I think this might be the most I've been excited for a PTA movie in a while. I like Paul Thomas Anderson. I don't love him. I think he makes really good movies, but I'll watch all of his movies, but I've never been just in love with him as a director. So this does, with the actors being who they are in this movie, and I think the plot looks pretty interesting to me. I'm just more interested than I usually be for a PTA movie, and excited to watch it and talk about it as we get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty obsessed with PTA. He is one of the GOATs. I think he's one of the pillars of writer-directors of, like, true auteurs over the past, 25 years at this point?
Yeah,
Coming up on a little bit more than 25 years for PTA. So he's been doing it for a long time and doing it at a really fucking high level. Licorice Pizza was interesting. I liked Licorice Pizza, but it was a little bit of a different mode we'd seen from PTA before, where he's kind of in this kind of hangout movie vibe, this really chill zone where it's more about the vibes and the characters and kind of just having a good time with them, like kind of more of like a Dazed and Confused sort of thing, like almost like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
Yeah.
kind of tone. And all his other movies are, I don't want to say high concept, but they all have very strong plots and premises and stories like driving you throughout them. You know, it's not more of some free flowing as Licorice Pizza was, but I think everything he does is genius. Like he is, and I can't say anything that anyone else hasn't already said, but he is one of the greats. I think that's all I really have to say about that is if you love cinema, you love Paul Thomas Anderson. He's just one of the guys who's just out there consistently doing it. And I fucking
And
love it.
he's not for me as much. He's more like I like all of his movies. I think one out of every like three or so. I don't know the conversion rate, but I think every couple movies he makes one that I fucking love. And the other ones I'm like, yeah, really good movie, really well made. But you can't deny just how great of a director he is and how influential of an artist he is. He basically runs film schools from what I understand. Like he is the pillar of film students. Like they love this
Oh,
guy.
of course, yeah.
Him and Wes Anderson, right? Like
Yeah.
they are if you were to survey any film class across America, it's him and Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
I think are the top two, not even close. So you just can't deny his influence and his greatness as a director. And if that many people see it, obviously he is just that good.
Right. I mean, he does get referenced all the time, like you said, by people who are just learning about film, like film students and people that are coming up, and that's a great thing to aspire to, obviously, because
Yeah.
PTA is like one of those guys who was just doing it on his own, right? Independent guy, didn't go to film school. I think I've seen interviews with him where he said he went to like one film class or something, and the teacher said, if you're here to make Terminator 2, then you should just leave. Because, no one's going to make Terminator 2.
I've
And he's
seen
like,
this, yeah.
what if I want to make Terminator 2? That movie fucking rocks. Like, why would you
Right.
not want to make a movie like that?
Yeah.
So he's a guy that very much represents, I think, the kind of counterculture of independent film in the 90s that hit with him and Quentin Tarantino and people in that vein, where people that were just obsessed with movies that just decided they were going to make them on their own terms, and kind of like that was a golden age of independent cinema in America.
Yeah.
And I think Hollywood is at a very different place because of those guys and people who have in turn been inspired by
Yeah.
those guys. So PTA, we owe him a ton. We owe him enough to go see his movies when he makes them. Go see him in the
Absolutely.
theater. This is shot on VistaVision, so I think it'll look really cool. I love the DiCaprio performance. Looks really fun too. It's kind of
Yeah.
seems like a
Yeah.
variation on I don't know about the persona of Rick Dalton, but I feel like I'm hearing a little bit of Rick Dalton in there at times, where he's kind of more stupid than he thinks he is, and I
Right.
don't know. I'm really looking forward to it though. It seems like it's going to be a fun performance from him.
I think this is one where, like I told you, I'm not like any more excited than I was a couple weeks ago, but I think this is one that suits me. Like Paul Thomas Anderson is making a movie. This is the one that I would choose out of the last couple, based off like Licorice Pizza trailers, and I really liked Inherent Vice actually. That
Yep.
one was just more my style, but I think this is one of the last few where I'm like, hey, I didn't really love Phantom Thread. I think it's a great movie, but I didn't love it for me. But I think this one is going to be more for me.
But there are like
one-
100 Instagram accounts devoted to Phantom Thread alone. Like
Right,
there are
right.
people that are just obsessed
And-
with that movie.
And as there should be, I think that's what makes him so cool as a director, is that he does make high quality movies in different genres, and movies that like but people go on and bitch so much about there being so little original movies. And I know this is based off of a book, but this is a very original movie, however you want to describe
Well, just
it,
because it's
right?
based on a
And
book, I
he's
don't
in a-
think that means it's
Right.
unoriginal. It's this
And
is like coming from
he's an
someone who we
original
wanna hear.
filmmaker. Like
Exactly.
he is going to make a story that you have not seen before on screen, and he's going to make you enjoy it or put you in a position that you didn't think was possible. And I think he's constantly pushing himself to explore different and new characters, and that's what makes him so fun. And that's what makes, when the ones that do really hit for me, that's what makes them really hit, is that he just finds this zone that I really love. And then Phantom Thread is a zone that somebody else really loves, and that's great for both of us. So we all win when he makes a new movie.
Yeah, you're right that PTA, he has a lot of different tones, a lot of different styles that he's played with over the course of his career. I guess I kind of forgot a little bit about Inherent Vice when I was talking about his movies that are more chilled out and just kind of
Love it.
vibes.
Love
Inherent
it.
Vice is definitely totally in that realm too.
Boogie
But
Nights.
Boogie Nights, but yeah, Boogie Nights is like this to me feels like it has some Boogie Nights energy because Boogie Nights is also really funny. It's like
Yeah.
almost like a straight up comedy in a lot of scenes. I'm thinking of like kind of the chaotic elements in Boogie Nights too, like when they're in Alfred Molina's house and he's got a guy fucking like lighting off fireworks in his house like at random moments and all this yeah, all the different styles of PTA, but you get a Boogie Nights, you get There Will Be Blood, you get a Phantom Thread, you get
Yeah. I
you
was
know
gonna say the artist, but it's the master. Sorry,
the
I get
Master.
those two mixed up just because of the titles. But the master like wasn't for me. But I'll be damned, like I can't say that's a bad movie in any sense,
No.
right? Like I think you'd be insane to even take a chip at that movie. Like I don't have to love it to acknowledge that it's a great movie, and he does just make great movies. So
Also, probably the reason we're never going to see Tom Cruise in another PTA movie again because of The Master, unfortunately. But a small price to pay. I don't know, small price, but I guess we'll take it because The Master was fucking brilliant. But yeah, I don't have much more to say other than I'm really excited for a new PTA movie. And if you somehow don't know who Paul Thomas Anderson is or you haven't checked out his movies yet, you should get on that. And I would just say just start at Hard Eight and just go. Like just watch them in chronological order because I think that's always fun too to kind of see the progression of
yes,
a filmmaker.
yeah,
If you're lucky enough to have not, I don't know about lucky, but I don't know. If you haven't seen any of his movies yet and you
right.
check them, I mean, you are lucky in a way because you can be exposed to all these great movies you've never seen before. I don't know. What's your favorite PTA movie?
Dude, if you don't love all of them or don't like all of them, you will find one of them that
Exactly.
you will
Exactly.
love.
There's at least
And
one that
so,
I think someone can enjoy. What's your favorite?
what's my favorite? I think between Inherent Vice, actually, that was really made for me. I really like that movie. Between that and There Will Be Blood, like, come on, it's There Will Be Blood. Like, that's one of the top 3 or 4 movies of the 2000s.
Yep.
So, just
Hard not to
yeah,
say There Will Be Blood. My personal favorite, I think, is Magnolia because it's just such like a weird mix of genres and styles and influences. And it kind of is this like big sprawling epic. It's in a way that a lot of his other movies aren't. We follow all these different characters through all their like personal lives in LA. They intersect in certain moments and it rains frogs at the end. It's a very, very strange, weird movie, but it has my personal favorite Tom Cruise performance ever. And I think he's just on another fucking planet in Magnolia.
mixed in with so many other great performances. But yeah, Tom Cruise, like, how many great performances again has Tom Cruise given? So you saying that's your favorite?
Respect
And
the cock.
we've talked we've talked a lot about Tom Cruise on this podcast and how much we could have a whole episode about just us talking about how much we love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And you saying that's your favorite Tom Cruise performance obviously means a lot coming from you.
Indeed. Yeah, so we're getting Leo back with PTA again. That'll be fun. Have we had Leo with PTA before? Am I just misremembering?
No, we
No,
haven't.
we haven't actually. No. I was thinking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, we have Leo with PTA too now, so that'll be really fun to see. Supporting cast looks fun. Yeah, I'm ready for this one. Not much more to say other than that, so get ready. When's this coming out? September, I think? Like mid-September? I think I saw that in the trailer there. September 26th, I want to say.
Cool.
So yeah, let's go, baby. New PTA movie.
Like I like this is kind of like trailer season for summer movie season as well. So we're getting a lot of good trailers right now. I think we'll get even more. We're getting some interesting teasers for next year and some chairs. My favorite chair was Karen Page with a gun. Will be back in Avengers Doomsday, by the way. Karen Page with a gun. Just and getting some good stuff on Apple TV with the studio, seeing where Daredevil's going, and then having The Last of Us coming up right on the tail of this. We're gonna start eating this summer, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.